Welcome to the StopStutter Podcast, where ex-stutterers share their personal journeys from struggle to confidence. Each episode, we hear real stories of life with a stutter and how the neuroscience method helped them find their voice for good.
The show where we share real stories of transformation of people who have overcome stuttering. And they did that using a neuroscience-based approach. I'm your host, Steve, and this podcast is all about hope, possibility, look like on the other side of stuttering. With me today is a good friend of mine. He is known throughout the program as the man with the golden voice. Folks, give it up for my friend Nick. Nick, say hello.
Hello, guys. Hello.
Now, for those listening at home, you'll notice that Nick has an outstanding voice. Now, I'm a great speaker. I do not have an outstanding voice. Nick, on the other hand,
Yeah, you do, man.
does.
Yeah, you do.
Oh,
Yeah, you
well,
do.
thank you. I'm just saying, if I could trade my voice for your voice, I would. If that were an option, I would. I think a lot of people in the program would, or actually outside the program as well.
Yeah, man. So first of all, hello again, guys. I'm Nick. I'm from Greece. I'm 29 years old, and I've joined this amazing program at the age of 26. So it's been 3 years almost. So yeah, in a few words, that's that's me.
Okay. So Nick, what do you like to do for fun?
For fun, I go to the gym and I'm swimming, and like I like also to work on cars. So that's a few things that I do for fun and for hobbies.
Okay. What kind of cars have you worked on before?
Oh man, Beamers, Toyotas, Suzukis, Mercedes, and a few Audis. So yeah, a few cars.
That's cool, man. So like, where'd you learn to do that?
YouTube.
Yeah, really? YouTube?
Yeah, man. Yeah, YouTube. How to change car oil, how to change car filter, how to change this and that. Yeah, man.
And were these like newer models or were they older models?
They're mostly a bit older, like early 2000s models. So yeah, um, with the new stuff, you got to be a bit more, uh, like aware, let's say, of all the sensors and so on. With the bit older cars, it's easy, man. It just bolts and nuts and easy stuff basically.
Yeah. Yeah, because now you have to have the codes and stuff. If you try to
Yeah.
work on it, it'll mess up.
Yeah, true.
Smart. Smart on their part. I mean, it stinks for people that want to soup up their cars and take off the governor and things like that.
Yeah,
But you got
totally. Yeah.
So Nick, what was it like growing up in Greece with a speech impediment? Like, what was your experience like with that?
Yeah, man. To be fully honest with you, you start, with your early life, you're like 4 or 5 years old, and you don't understand why, this is happening to you, and you really don't really hear it yourself, at the beginning, uh, and let's say that this, from the kids around you and the people that they look at you funny. But it's hard. It's hard. I mean, school was hard. Like high school. Like with your father and stuff. With family, and getting embarrassed all the time. You cannot say your own name. There's. It was actually quite hard for me. Yeah. So I wouldn't really, wish it to my worst, enemy. Let's say, because it's actually that bad. But yeah.
Yeah. Now, growing up, did you try to do any sort of like speech therapy, like through the school or outside of school or anything like that?
Yeah, so first time I joined speech therapy, I was probably like 6 or 7 years old, and my father took me there, and I didn't want to go, and I had to go, so I was kind of forced, to go there, and it was just funny, like things that we had to do. It was just, to sing aloud and say like, how would say it in English, like, the o e sounds,
Oh yeah, the vowels.
vowels, yeah,
Yeah.
vowels. So yeah, and I joined that. I was doing that for a few years, and I went to another one at age 12 or 13, and there we're mostly, like reading. And then again, then I stopped for a while, and then I tried to find myself a few other things. At the age of 20 or 21, I started to seek out new options, and I did two more. And the one was hands and your fingers in a weird way, to speak. Yeah, it's a bit funny.
So wait a second. They would want you to talk like you're from like North Jersey, like an Italian, like, oh, mamma mia, like that, right?
Oh, forget
Oh,
about it.
oh, this guy over here, yo, Paulie,
From
Paulie,
where?
this guy over here.
From where did you find it once to talk to me like that? Yeah.
Kiss back some balls, I tell you.
Kind of like that. No. So it was mostly, like using your hand basically, and you would go like this. My name is Nick. I am doing a podcast with Steve. And the idea for that was that basically, by using your hands, your mind will just focus on that and not on words and stuttering and so on. So yeah, so I did that, and I didn't quite like it, to be honest. And I was like, man, this is not it. And then I found a new one, and it was having like a throat like device that you can see, the synchronity of your voice and how deep it is, how high it goes,
Yeah.
and so on. And that would work, let's say, in a closed room, with yourself, and yeah, uh, but again, it wasn't really, for me, and I thought that it's just not gonna work, basically. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, like I tried therapy a couple times. I tried it. Well, the school had a program, and I think they had like a speech pathologist that would come in once a week and just take all the kids from like all the grades into this one little room for maybe 1 hour a week. And I guess we work on our speech, but I don't remember them telling me why I was there. It's weird. It's just like one day, hey, Steven, you're going to room B29. And then you get there and they have you sit down and they really didn't tell you why you're there and just started having you do a bunch of goofy stuff. And this lasted for like a couple of years. Didn't do anything. And then right before my freshman year in college, I did speech therapy for like 2 months.
All right.
And nothing. It didn't do anything.
Really?
Nah, it didn't help at all. Didn't help at all, man. Speaking of that age, first job, like first paying job, what was your experience like? Because I remember mine being quite rough, to tell you the truth.
Yeah.
I'm sure. Yeah.
Yeah, man. So my first job, I was 16, and I was working as a bar, how call it, like bartender. I was serving drinks and all that. 16 years old. I mean,
Wow.
that was quite young. But in Greece, things are a little bit, not so strict with the law, let's say. So yeah, I mean, at that age, for some weird reason, I was pretty much fluent. and it's strange that, it fluctuates.
Yeah.
And, like the more that you go fluent, the more you stay fluent, and be more fluent as you go. And the less fluent you are, the worse you actually go. It's like a snowball, either to the good side or to the bad side. So at 16, man, for some reason, I was just going, and I didn't have any sort of speech issues and so on. So I was doing actually fine. So my main thing is that I actually moved from Greece at 16, and I moved, to a northern side of Europe, let's say. And the drastic change in, the whole, language and weather and culture and all that, that's what really made me go really, back. And, the snowball effect dragged me all the way back.
Mm.
So at the age of 17 to 18, I would say I was, you know, uh, 19, well, like there. And, there, that was the time where I was really, struggling, because, it's a new language, and you have to think to speak it. So when you think of words, as you know, you're
Yeah.
gonna stutter. So it was just a snowball effect going downstream.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but weren't you at one point in the military? Is that true?
Yeah, man. Yeah, correct. Yeah.
And did having a speech impediment make it that much more difficult being in the military?
Dude, I mean, man.
That's why I enjoy it. That's why I enjoy it.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah. Yeah, man. It's hard. I'm not. I'm just gonna try not to swear, but it was
Sure.
very hard, very very hard. And the thing is that you have to say things right, and at their own given like flow. Let's say you have to say this when I tell you this. You have to say it like this with this wording. You cannot change anything. So it's all quite strict. And it was really 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 hard for me. Yeah. But I got through it. But I would just say that like if I had the choice uh, to go back again and to think about it, I would probably just skip it. I was just like, man, no. But or if I would have found this amazing program sooner, who knows? Maybe I would just join it and be all good. Who knows?
Yeah. Yeah. I play
So,
that
Steve,
game all the time. Yeah, go ahead.
So you mentioned your first job. If you could please share to me, like, a few things. You said it was quite hard for you.
Oh yeah, yeah. Yeah, so I was working at a restaurant. I was a busboy. And a busboy, you gotta pick up all the plates and all that and go back to the kitchen and wash dishes and stuff, and then like talk to customers, because customers would think you're a waiter. They'd ask you random questions, pull you aside, and you're trying to like explain to them you're not a waiter, but the words aren't coming out. And then you got the manager over here like barking at you, hey, go get that table. What's taking so long? You're like trying to explain to the manager.
Oh
This
my
person
God.
thinks I'm a waiter, but the words aren't coming out. So you got that going. And then you got the waiter come over here being like, hey, what are you talking to my customers for? What? But no, I wasn't. But the thing, so like that's my first.
You're
like,
just stuck, like.
yeah, just
Yeah.
brutal.
Oh my God.
That's when I started smoking cigarettes, like at that job.
I get it.
how
You're like,
started.
man,
Get the break.
whatever. Like, just like,
Oh, I know it's gonna kill me, but inside there is gonna kill me faster. Oh,
Yeah.
and then you bum the cigarettes off like the older kids that work there, because you're not allowed to smoke at 15, my country. But yeah, so that was like my first job was like
Wow.
that, and I was just, oh man, I hate working. Like that planted the seeds in my head for I hate working.
Yeah,
So,
I get it. Yeah.
oh, which brings me to my next point. You kind of touched upon a little bit. How did you first discover the neuroscience-based method that we use?
YouTube.
YouTube. Okay.
Yeah. So so I was going through Reddit and YouTube and all kinds of places to find some solution, something to save my soul, on this planet,
Yeah.
from the curse and the doom of this speech issue. So I was going through a few of them, and there was some real um, charlatans,
Sure.
and they wanted 5,000 USD and this and that, and I really started to become a bit cynic. I was like, man, this cannot work. This it's a scam. It's like people trying to rip you off. But then I found a comment on a YouTube video of Coach Lee, and this was Coach Danny, and he actually like said something on it. I don't quite recall what it was, but it was like in the words of this actually works, and this and that and so on. So I joined in, and the fact that I didn't have to pay like large sums of money, that made me be like, okay, let's see what this is. And so I joined, and when I read Lee's book, I mean, from the first few pages, I was like, this guy gets it. He actually had what I have or used to have, and so on. So I was like, man, this guy actually speaks the truth. And the book just drew me in. Basically, I was like, oh my God, this is true stuff, golden stuff, and so on. And it just went on from there. So Danny, Coach Danny, I know you're gonna see this. All my best to you, and you're the man.
Yeah, Danny has reeled in a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
He really has.
Yeah, man. He's like an angel from heaven who came to save us. So yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So you found the program.
Yeah.
How did you change from the day that you started reading this book to the day that you finally declared, hey, I'm a person, stop stuttering? Like, can you describe like the changes that you went through to get to that point?
Yeah, for sure, man. I mean, it's not, a straight line, let's say. So, the first few months, I was just reading the book and doing what it said to read aloud, use all the tools, crutches, and so on. And, the first few months, it was quite hard because you're trying to figure out a way to control your speech mechanism in your brain. Sounds hard, and it is even harder. You of course know what I'm talking about. So I mean, for the first few months, you're trying to use the speech tools, the crutches and so on, and you're trying, you fail, try and fail, try and fail, try and fail, boom, you got it. But it takes weeks, months, and even for me to even feel like I am, a PW as a person who stopped stuttering, I would say took me around 8 months, 9 months to really feel it, because you go from a few months, 3 to 4 months, without appearing, really speech disabled, but you deep down you realize that you're kind of, you're on your feet, you choose, where to speak and where not to, you kind of choose your scenarios so you don't get caught. But for me to really feel that, I can actually do this, 9 months, year maybe. Yeah, I mean it's a long road, and for me, the hardest thing was probably the idea that this is gonna take a year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But looking back on it now, a year or even 9 months really isn't that long a time period.
No, no, it's
because
true.
it flies by regardless. And I would say, if I had to guess, I don't remember the exact. I would say I was somewhere probably within the 6 to 9 month mark myself, as when the change happened. But it was probably around month 8 or 9 that I finally made that declaration that, okay, I'm a person who has stopped stuttering.
Correct.
Because I think we were probably fluent a little sooner than that, but until you really make that proclamation or declaration, I think there will still be some of that lingering fear, and it'll cause little mishaps along the way. Nothing like dramatically horrible, but like just enough to where you kind of doubt yourself a little bit. So I think that's where the mind training comes in. I think that's the most crucial part, because you could sit around and read all day and do the crutches, but until you flip that switch in your mind and that switch finally goes the other way, or the light bulb comes on to where you're like, oh, I'm fluent now. I think a person will still like continue to like drift a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, man, that's like a great point. And for me, the greatest thing was seeing people who have gone through the journey and went over to the other side. And for me, for example, you, Steve, you were one of the first people in the program that I actually saw that actually stopped stuttering. So like for me, just seeing you, just being you, and throwing jokes around and just being Steve and being fluent, that for me did more than doing crutches or reading aloud for months straight. So just seeing that this is possible. And I think that you really brought another good point there, with the switch. And the thing is that once you see that this is possible, you see it, you actually believe it, then you can really have that change that's concrete. Because if you doubt it, you don't believe it, I don't know this works, this and that, there you just one mistake away from just collapsing.
Exactly. Exactly. And dude, I'm grateful that I met people like you in the practice groups and stuff. Because I think had I joined the program and I was doing practice groups and I came across fluent people, but they were kind of, try not to curse, dirtbags, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if I would have stuck with the program. And yeah, there was someone when I first joined the program that I met. I'm not going to mention their name, but that person was kind of off-putting to me. And I was like, dang, I don't know if I want to do this program. But fortunately, I found some other people that I connected with, like John from Scotland and others. And being around them gave me the strength and accountability to continue the next week, because I knew I was going to see them next Monday. I want to do my 1, 2, 3 punch. That way, when I meet with them again, I sound more fluent than I did the previous week.
Yeah, correct. Yeah.
And I don't like to use that word safe space. I don't like that word, but they gave me a supportive environment, an environment where I wasn't afraid of being judged or looking bad for failing at something, some task, what have you.
Yeah, I
So
get it.
for me, that was really important. And doing the mind train, I think that was probably the thing that took a little longer for me to really grasp, because when I first did it, I read the book, the 700-page book, out loud.
Yeah, same.
Took
Four
me
times I believe I did it. Yeah, 4 or 5. Yeah.
took me about a month, I think, close to a month to read it out loud, cover to cover. By doing that alone, I noticed my speech change
Yeah.
within that month. And I was like, okay, I guess I'll do the rest of the stuff. And then next, I worked on learning the crutches by going to the practice groups and practicing on my own while reading. And I think the last thing that put everything together was the mind training. Now, if I could go back, I probably would have done the mind training first and then the reading and then the crutches. But for folks watching or listening at home, if you can do them all at the same time, you'll be golden.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Yeah, for sure. And like to go back to a previous point of yours, Steve. What you said that you might have a few mishaps here and there while you were coming up. One big shift would be to actually to realize that we're not seeking our speech to be perfect. Like even fluent people, they do have some mistakes. They seek words. They might have a few repeats, so on and so forth. So the goal here basically is to be a fluent person. And if you have a few mishaps here and there, nobody first cares. Second of all, nobody will remember. Nobody cares. You call for to make a booking for a villa on the beach, and you have few repeats or whatever. She's just gonna close the phone and just go on with his or her life. Whoever was on the other line of that phone, he's gonna, man, this Nick guy. I mean, he sounds strange or whatever. No, man, nobody really cares, or is gonna have it in their mind. So the goal here is for you to be able to move around your life and on this planet being fluent, not perfect, but fluent. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it would be kind of funny if you called up a villa trying to rent one and you had a terrible experience, and then on the other side of the phone, she's like, "Oh, that Nick guy. Oh, I'm never gonna give him a reservation. I'm gonna call all the hotels in the area. I'm gonna ruin his life because he sounds strange. Oh, you are blacklisted, Nick the Greek. Oh, you are so blacklisted."
Yeah, man. Yeah, never gonna happen. I mean, they don't care. They have their own things going on with their lives, problems, money, kids, whatever it is. So, yeah.
So, Nick, what is life like now? Because you've been fluent at PWSS for probably over a year, 2 years now, something like that.
Something like that. Let's say, yeah.
So, what is life like for you right now? Compared to when you started.
Oh, all right. Yeah. Like if we really start to think about those two and to compare them together, it's like night and day. To be honest with you, the main thing is you don't have to think what you're gonna say. But the number one thing with stuttering is you have to speak from the hip, shoot from the hip, as they say in USA and from Texas. For those people who have that experience. But yeah, the goal here is to shoot from the hip. You don't think, you just say what you feel, and you speak in ideas. So still to this day, I still have to really stop myself from thinking words, because it's being so ingrained in our minds with so many memories, years, and so on. that when you get scared or anxious, your first reaction is, oh, I'm gonna think what I'm gonna say to be able to know what I'm gonna say and say it better and to protect yourself. It's a thing that we're doing, that we're trying to help ourselves, but we end up doing it worse. So the thing is, you have to shoot from the hip and be confident. If you cannot have that in yourself, just if you act confident, you can get some of it, and just shoot from the hip. So life now for me, is that I mean, I still make a few repeats here and there, or a few mishaps. I'm not here to try to showcase myself as I'm perfect. I'm whatever. You know, but I can say for surely I can say that I do not have any speech issues. So it's a night and day difference. And when I started, I was really in a dark place due to this stuttering and so on. And now it's something that's moved to the side. I still have to keep my foot on the neck of Satan, let's say, uh, but I don't have to actually fight him all the time. He's down, but he just tries to get up sometimes.
Yeah.
So you have to just keep your head,
Yeah,
your leg on his head. Yeah.
Yeah, just kick him in the ribs once in a while.
Yeah.
Maybe from like an arm bar or
Choke him.
rear naked choke.
Yeah, like UFC style,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Anaconda choke.
So tell me real quickly, since summer started, have you done anything fun or interesting or anything cool like that?
Fun or interesting? To be honest with you, I had so much work and so many things going on that I haven't really been able to go to the beach even. So not much, my friend. You?
I try to go to the beach once a week. I enjoy the beach. Let's see what else is happening. I'm going to a Mets baseball game. Should be.
Oh, all right.
Trying to think what else. 4th of July, I don't really have any plans per se. And then I think I'm going on this tour of like this ship. Like, trying to describe it. So right now they're about to have a big celebration for the 250th anniversary of America since its inception. And so in New York, they have like, the Navy there, the Coast Guard people, military people, they're there. And they're going to have like this big like parade blowout type of thing. And one of the things that they have is they have some really cool ships like on the water.
Oh,
these really cool ships. And I think I'm going to take a tour of one of those ships like when it's docked. I don't know if we'll actually be out like on the water like sailing in it, but I think it's going to be docked and you get to go. It's like a gigantic ship. Take a little tour, go through I forget what it's called, like little bunkers, or I don't even know the term of it, but the you know what I'm talking about, the little
the rooms inside the ship and so on.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I forget the name of it. Vessels, I guess. Vessels. I don't know. I'm trying to think.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's kind of what I'm doing.
Yeah, and Steve, I mean, sorry to interrupt you, but you mentioned, prior that you, the reason you didn't join the military is because of your, speech issues. So, have you thought about, like what you could have been or done, if you didn't have this, this issue, let's say?
Well, yeah. So which branch I would have joined. I probably would have joined
Marines. No.
I probably would have joined the Marines or the
really?
Navy.
Oh.
Yeah. But looking back on it now, I'd probably go into the Coast Guard. That'd be like a sweeter gig, honestly. but if I wanted to see some action, I guess I would be a Marine.
All right. Yeah. Yeah, man. And
there's probably people watching this right now like, what about Army, man? You like Army? Huh?
What about Navy, man? Air Force? Yeah.
No, they're all good. It's just if I had to pick, I'd probably be Navy or Marine. Just for that bragging status of being a Marine, right?
Yeah. Simplify,
yeah.
Yeah, man. And like going back to that is that, it's really a big thing. Like for me, I had this big thing that I finally, like had the chance to really think about, and go through, like all of these things that have happened in my life, and to be able to say that Nick or Steve or whoever has this speech issues who's watching right now, it is not your fault. Yeah. You have to just be able to forgive yourself and to give yourself some closure and be honest, because we are 100% honest. It's not my fault or your fault that, let's say that the way that you were raised up, your experiences or genes, whatever it is, you didn't choose to have this. I didn't choose to have it. Whoever is watching this, he didn't choose to have any of this. So, so if you have any broken dreams and, some things that you wanted to do, some desires that you didn't do because of it, be able to forgive yourself, because it is not your fault.
Exactly. I think we should end there, man. That's a pretty good message right there. I can't really top that. I mean, I can make a funny voice right now, but I don't want to steal the moment.
No, yeah, man, because I had this thing, for a while that I was really, blaming myself. But, and I reached the point where I just realized that being 100% honest, 1000% honest, it is not your fault, Nick. And it's not your fault, Steve, and whoever is watching. You didn't choose to have this. So, be kind to yourself, and and be real. It's not your fault.
Exactly. Folks, I'm going to end there because I think that's a very powerful message. And for me to add anything to that, it's unnecessary. So I think Nick close out strong. Nick, is there anything else you want to say real quick?
No, man. I just want to say thank you to you. You were and still are one of my heroes. From the moment that I joined in to the program, I was just seeing like, wow, Steve. I mean, he sounds amazing, and so on. So you were for sure one of the reasons that I kept going. You, Lee, and so many others. So if you're, thinking about joining, you can just hear me and Steve talk here. That's all the proof you need. So yeah, that's my closing remarks, let's say.
Very good. Very good.
Thanks for listening. We hope you enjoyed today's story. Stay tuned for more inspiring journeys, and don't forget to check out the StopStutter app to connect with the amazing people you hear on the podcast.
Unlock your voice with StopStutter.